John Wayne Gacy, one of the most disturbing names in American criminal history. To the outside world, he was a successful businessman, a community volunteer, and a man who dressed as a clown to make children laugh. But behind that painted smile was one of the darkest secrets America had ever seen. This is the story of John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown. John Wayne Gacy was born in 1942 in Chicago, Illinois. He grew up in what many would call a normal American household. As an adult, Gacy built a life that looked respectable. He ran a construction business, was active in local politics, and was well known in his neighborhood. People trusted him. Neighbors liked him. Parents had no reason to fear him, and that's what made this case so terrifying. Gacy had a side hobby that made him even more popular. He dressed as a clown for charity events, hospitals, and birthday parties. His clown characters were known as Pogo the Clown and Patches. Children laughed, parents smiled, photos were taken. A clown is supposed to represent happiness and innocence. No one imagined that this cheerful costume would later become a symbol of fear across the entire country. Behind closed doors, Gacy was living a double life. By day, he managed his business and social connections. By night, something far darker was happening. He often targeted young men, many of them looking for work or guidance. Gacy knew how to gain trust quickly. He appeared confident, friendly, and helpful. And because of his public image, few people ever questioned his intentions. During the 1970s, several young men began to disappear in the Chicago area. At first, these cases didn't seem connected. Some were runaways. Some were assumed to have left town, but families started asking questions. Too many people were going missing, and answers were hard to find. Slowly, investigators began to notice a pattern. Everything changed when a teenage boy disappeared in 1978. Witnesses reported that he was last seen with John Wayne Gacy. Police decided to take a closer look. They followed Gacy, questioned him, and observed his behavior. Gacy appeared calm, even cooperative, but there was something unsettling about him. As the investigation deepened, the truth became impossible to ignore. When authorities searched Gacy's home, they uncovered evidence that shocked even experienced investigators. What seemed like a normal suburban house was hiding something unimaginable. The discovery revealed that Gacy's crimes had been happening for years, right beneath the feet of neighbors who had no idea. This moment would become one of the most infamous discoveries in American criminal investigations. Once the case became public, the media coverage exploded across the United States. The idea that a clown, someone associated with children and laughter, could be responsible for such horrific acts terrified the nation. Newspapers, television channels, and documentaries all gave him the same name: the Killer Clown. That name would follow him forever. In court, John Wayne Gacy claimed he was innocent. At times, he suggested that someone else was responsible. At other moments, he spoke as if he were a victim himself. His defense tried to argue mental instability, but the evidence against him was overwhelming. Witness testimonies, forensic findings, and the scale of the crimes left little doubt. The jury's decision was inevitable. In 1980, John Wayne Gacy was sentenced to death. It was one of the most significant verdicts of its time. Years later, in 1994, the sentence was carried out. His life ended. But the fear and shock left behind did not disappear with him. John Wayne Gacy changed how America viewed trust. He changed how people looked at strangers, at authority figures, and even at clowns. To this day, his case is studied by psychologists, criminologists, and true crime researchers, not because of fascination, but because it shows how evil can hide behind a perfectly normal face. The story of John Wayne Gacy reminds us of one powerful truth: evil does not always look dangerous. Sometimes it wears a smile, sometimes it wears a costume, and sometimes it lives right next door. This was the story of John Wayne Gacy, the Killer Clown.